Earlier in today's show, we had a chance to visit a unique farmhouse restoration project where the wood siding and trim was in need of replacement. In addition to energy efficiency and maintenance freedom, maintaining the character of the home was also very important for the homeowner. So let's head back out with our contractor, Andy Lindus, to see how it turned out and if the homeowner's goals were accomplished. Oh, Andy, this just turned out beautifully.
It did. The homeowner here is 100% satisfied.
Now, you know, what catches my eye as we walk up to it, sure, it looks beautiful, it looks new, but those sunbursts are really special.
Yeah, they turned out great. You know, when we were first meeting with the homeowner here, he wanted to make sure he didn't lose any of the detail work. By the detail work, I mean the sunbursts, the scallops, the freeze board, the little things that we did in the house to give it that character so it doesn't look like the cookie cutter house that you see everywhere else.
Now, those sunbursts, if I recall correctly, those were originally there, so you actually replicated them with steel siding?
We did. They were originally here. We took down the old sunburst made out of wood and we actually bent up steel right here on the job site. We actually took the same material the actual siding's made out of, ran it through our machine just through the embossing part of the rollers, took all the way of the roller up so it didn't get the bends, just gave it that nice wood grain look to it, and then actually bent it, custom bent it right here on the job site to make every single piece custom fit to that triangle.
So, you know, so many times we talk about the machinery, the automation, a superior end result, but in this case, you definitely need the hands-on craftsmanship to give it that final touch of elegance that they were looking for on this project.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. It takes a true craftsman to custom make all those little things and to make it turn out and look just as good, if not better, than the original woodwork.
And you know, we said it's steel siding, I remember. Also up top, what really catches my eye are those scallops. What are those?
Those are actually our vinyl scallop, and we can get scallops in a couple of different materials. Homeowner here chose the vinyl. It works out great. It's stuck with the maintenance-free theme of the whole project, and that's, again, was something that was on the house before, but he had to get up there and paint it. Was able to replicate the look, but take away the maintenance.
Sure, and there's no substitute for maintenance freedom, especially as we all age, gracefully as it is. You still don't want to get out there and do the work. What about around the side of the house here?
As remember, Stu, over here we actually had some rotten wood that needs to be replaced in the house before we did anything. The threshold in the doors, some of the frames around the window, and we actually replaced some of these storm windows with brand new storms and then wrapped each opening in the same material the siding's made out of.
Boy, you know, I really like it, not only from a maintenance freedom standpoint, but just the architectural appeal when you look at the wide frames going around the windows, and then the subtleness of the freeze board that really helps break up the first level to the second level.
Yeah, you know, the freeze board I think does it all, especially in the two-story house. I mean, it's the same color that the siding is, just changing the shape there a little bit really gives it a, you know, another dimension.
And speaking of another dimension, look up into the gables. So there are those scallops again, and I think that really helps set this house off.
You know, every time I show somebody those scallops, it's hard to think that those are vinyl. People think vinyl and they think, you know, it's going to really look fakey, but those scallops actually look like original woodwork on the house.
And one thing that I'm happy to see is he went with the leaf guard gutters. I mean, I remember those old gutters that he had. Essentially, they were leaf collectors. They were starting to rust out. And I think in the first segment, you were talking he might actually put those back up.
Yeah, he was thinking about putting the regular gutters back up. I mean, look at the size of that cottonwood maple tree he has here. He'd be up there 4 or 5 times a year cleaning out the gutters. And I mean, what's the point? He's putting on all this maintenance-free siding, maintenance-free scallops. Every opening here is wrapped in the same steel that the siding is, only to have to put on the regular gutters you're going to have to maintain 4 or 5 times a year. No, he went with the leaf guard gutters to make sure this is a 100% maintenance-free exterior of his home.
Andy, here's a good opportunity to take a look at the embossing, and I just think that's so realistic, and a homeowner can either go with a wood grain or smooth, right?
Yeah, you know, different homeowners are going to like different looks. So we're talking pure aesthetics here. Whether you want wood grain, smooth, the flat paint look, we can give you what you want.
And you know, as I look at this, another aspect of the steel siding that I like are the shadow lines that you can do. You know, compared to vinyl, it seems like you have more options with the steel siding.
Yeah, the steel siding is all custom made right here, so we can change it up. We can go with a single 8-inch or single 10-inch panel. We can go to a triple 3-inch panel. We can do regular lap or Dutch lap siding. We can even give you steel that looks like half logs. Basically, there's options with steel. Not that it's the only material to use on siding, that we use on siding, but it's the siding that's the most flexible for us.
And you know, those are just all the different options within steel siding. There's different types of sidings out there, from the steel to the vinyl to the fiber cement to the wood. Just so many choices out there. How can a consumer be assured, or at least feel good about the selection they're making entering a re-siding project?
Well, you and I have talked a lot. It's so hard for a homeowner to take a piece of siding, and this is what we use on this house, the scallops here, and envision this on the house. So, you know, what I like to do, once they narrow it down to material, I let them feel the material so they can see how durable it is. You know, if they're going with the steel, I show them the difference between like a 29 gauge steel that you ordinarily see in a house compared to our 26 gauge steel that we put on.
Wow, a lot heavier on this one.
It's just a little bit heavier. But the trick is, I want to show them exactly what this siding looks like on their house before we even start the project.
How can you do that?
We have a computer program. We can take digital picture of each side of the house and be able to show people, this is what your house looks like white. This is what your house looks like black. This is what your house looks like with a single 8-inch Dutch lap panel. This is what your house looks like if you take windows and put grids in them. This is what your house looks like with scallops or cedar shakes in the gable area. This is what a particular freeze board looks like. They can see every aspect of the siding before we ever start. So, you know, it's the hardest part of the homeowner is envisioning the end result of their siding project.
And you find that's very effective? I mean, that must be awesome and very reassuring to a homeowner and great peace of mind entering a project knowing what the end result is going to look like before you even begin.
Well, you said it right there, Stu. When we're able to give the homeowner a picture of their house and show them exactly what it's going to look like when we're finished, how do you put it? A peace of mind for the homeowner. They know exactly what they're getting before they buy it.
Well, Andy, if the rest of your projects turn out as good as this one, I can't imagine they have nothing but happy customers. I really appreciate you coming on today's show and walking us through a few of them.
It's been my pleasure, Stu.
Now here are some key points to help summarize today's show. If you're planning an exterior remodeling project, research the new maintenance-free products that are now available for restoring a home. You'll find that almost any age or style house can be matched, so do your homework and take some time to learn about the products before they're applied. Next, make sure the contractor you select for your project is familiar with the products you're asking them to install. Custom tools and on-site fabrication will be likely, so ask about their experience with projects like yours and what products they recommend using. Finally, check at least 3 references when hiring an exterior remodeling contractor. Remember, rarely does a low bid represent the best value, so follow your instincts and select the right contractor for your situation. Well, we're all out of time for this week's show. Hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you again next time on today's Home Remodeling.